Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om. Gananatva Ganapatigam Havamahe Kavim Kavinamupamashravastamam Yesharajam Brahmanam Brahmanaspata Shrinvanoti Visida Sadhanam Prano Devi Saraswati Vadevadinivati Dhinama Vitrayavatu Ganeshaya Namaha Saraswatyai Namaha Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Hari Om.
When the senses surge like wild horses, tugging the chariot of life down uncertain paths, who holds the reins? Who guides the mind through the storms of desire and doubt? Bhagwan has shown us the journey of life is not to be walked alone, nor is the heart left to wander without direction. He is the unseen hand on the reins. He is the Hrudaya Sarathi, the charioteer of the heart. Swami had lovingly declared, "If you take one step toward me, I will take 100 toward you." And so begins the journey, sacred, silent and steady. Not across landscapes, but inward, where the Master walks beside us from within. There is a voice, not loud, but luminous. It does not command, it calls. It does not push, it pulses, gently reminding us of who we truly are. When the confusion clouds the mind, when crossroads confound us, we find ourselves like Arjuna in the battlefield of our own being. And just as Krishna did not merely advise from afar, but took the reins of Arjuna's very chariot, so does our Swami guide us, not from the skies above, but from the silence within. He is not merely a companion. He is not just behind us or before us. He is within us. He is the charioteer of our conscience. He steers with love. He waits without hurry. He speaks with clarity that cuts through the chaos. And he leads, not with force, but the fragrance of truth. When we surrender the reins, the journey changes from doubt to direction, from fear to faith, from wandering to oneness. Then it dawns, this heart is the true chariot, our thoughts the reins, and the one guiding them all is Him. To a very speaker today, Swami once said with divine sweetness, "Instead of you being my driver, I would like to be your life driver." What more needs to be said? He is not just the Sarathi of a chariot. He is the Hrudaya Sarathi, the eternal compass within.
Om Shri Sairam. Guided by Sai, inspired to serve and destined to lead. With deepest love and reverence, I offer my most humble pranam at the divine lotus feet of our beloved Swami, our eternal master, our guide and our source of inspiration. Sairam everyone. My name is Kritisha Tamang, a participant of Sri Sathya Sai National Leadership Program, Batch 2025, hailing from Sikkim. इस साप्ताहिक श्रृंखला सत्संगत्वे निसंगत्वम के 7वें एपिसोड में आज शाम मेरा ये सच्चा सौभाग्य और सम्मान है कि मैं आप सबके समक्ष स्वामी का एक समर्पित सेवा दल का परिचय करा रही हूँ. A person whose life stands as a shining reflection of what it means to be led by the eternal compass of the heart, our Hrudaya Sarathi. In every chapter of his journey, one can see the invisible reins held by Swami himself, guiding, shaping, and lovingly leading him forward. Sri M. Padmanabha Pai comes from a family that has been in Swami's divine fold since 1961, deeply rooted in unwavering devotion. He continues the legacy of integrity through his 70-year-old trading house, MS Pai and Company, dealing in building materials of top brands like Jaguar. नेशनल इंस्टीट्यूट ऑफ टेक्नोलॉजी कर्नाटका सूरत काल के एलुमनस श्री पाई ने अपनी इंजीनियरिंग पूरी की और फिर यूनिवर्सिटी ऑफ हार्टफोर्ड यूएसए से एमबीए किया. He worked in the US until 1984 before choosing to return not just to his motherland but to the loving mission of his master. A life steeped in seva and spiritual leadership, he has served in numerous educational and religious institutions in Mangalore, nurturing value-based transformation in the community. 15 सालों तक अपने श्री सत्य साई सेवा ऑर्गेनाइजेशन मैंगलोर के डिस्ट्रिक्ट प्रेसिडेंट के रूप में सेवा दी और वर्तमान में यह यात्रा कर्नाटका नॉर्थ के स्टेट प्रेसिडेंट के रूप में जारी है. Swami personally blessed his marriage and named all 3 of their children. And in one unforgettable moment of love, when Sri Pai prayed for the chance to be Swami's driver, Swami replied, I quote, "Instead of you being my driver, I would like to be your life driver." Unquote. What greater grace than to be led by the divine charioteer himself? Today, we are truly blessed to hear from someone whose every step has been steered by our Hrudaya Sarathi. Let us welcome Sri M. Padmanabha Pai to kindly address us. Sairam, over to you, sir.
Om Sri Sairam. Offering my most humble pranams at the divine lotus feet of my Lord, my Guru, my preceptor, my everything in life, Bhagwan Sri Sathya Sai Baba. I'm absolutely delighted to be here this evening to address the present batch of National Leadership Program graduates. I really don't know where to start and where to end this saga of Swami's experiences. You know, it's almost 60 years, 62 years since we embarked on this spiritual journey. Whatever I am today, whatever grace that I've received from Swami, it's all because of my parents, Mr. Pai, Mr. M.S. Pai and Meera S. Pai, who were ardent disciples of Bhagwan Baba. You know, and they served in the organization for several decades. And they were instrumental in taking us on this path of spiritual journey. It all started in 1960. We were on our way back from Tirupati, and en route, on our way back, the driver of the car told us that Bhagwan Sathya Sai Baba has reincarnated in Prashant Nilayam as Shirdi Sai Baba's second avatar. And my father was not very much convinced, so we all came back to Mangalore. And when we came back to Mangalore, and my father had made a special prayer at Shirdi Baba's Samadhi that he wanted to shift his house, which was not in a very good neighborhood at that point of time. And he wanted a slightly bigger house because we were 3 children and parents. And so we came back to Mangalore, and then we were scouting for a house on a Sunday evening. We were driving in an old Austin car, and suddenly car broke down in front of a house. And the car wouldn't start. So my father got out of the car, and there was a laundry shop across the street. My dad asked him, do you have any house in this area which is for to be rented or to be sold? Immediately said, the car where your car is parked, that particular house, the owner is shifting to Bombay. So my father walked into the house, and the owner said, come back tomorrow morning. So next morning, we were so lucky that he agreed to give the house to us, and we moved there, and we have been there since last 6 decades now. You know, and it was such a blessing. And going back, we feel that it was all Swami's hand working around getting us a good house. So in 1961, my grandfather, my father's father, developed gangrene in one of his legs. And my father's elder brother was a very famous surgeon in Mangalore, Dr. M.P. Pai. He was the principal of the Kasturba Medical College. And he was not, he said the leg has to be amputated. Life is in danger. So it all started off with that. And then suddenly my father remembered about our Swami. The driver had mentioned that Satya Sai Baba has reincarnated, Hidi Baba has reincarnated as Satya Sai Baba. So with a few friends of his, uh, he started on this journey to Prashant Nilayam. So I think I'm supposed to speak a little bit in Hindi too. So I will chip in here and there. South Indian speaking Hindi may not be very pleasing, but I'll try my best. I learned some Hindi from my friends in the US, Pakistani friends from the US. So I'll try to chip in a little bit of Hindi. So मेरा फादर एंड उनका एक 4-5 दोस्त मिलके प्रशांत निलयम गए. एंड उसको किसी को भी रास्ता नहीं पता था एट दैट टाइम. नाउ वी रीच, अभी 8 घंटे में, मैंगलोर से 8 घंटे में ड्राइव करके प्रशांत निलयम पहुंचते हैं. पर तब किसी को मालूम नहीं था, रास्ता भी मालूम नहीं था. So we reached, my father reached almost after 18 hours of hectic driving because nobody knew the road. And there were so many rivers to cross and things like that. Finally they reached late in the night. And early morning, 7 o'clock, 7 baje Swami interview ke liye bulate the. Everybody had to go and sit on the veranda. And my father and his colleagues, 5 of them, went and sat there on the veranda. Swami bahar aaye. आते ही मेरा फादर को बुलाया and the group. First shot, 7 o'clock in the morning. As soon as he came out, he said, "Come inside." So some of the people were also called, and then they went inside. As soon as my this group entered, and Swami sat down, and Swami did not give them a chance to speak at all. He said, "I guided you to Prashant Nilayam. I guided you to Puttaparthi. You got lost in so many places, but I was the one who showed you the way. And I know why you are here. You are here for your, I told my father, for your father. Your father is suffering from gangrene, and the leg has to be amputated." He said, "Your brother, just out of the blue, he's talking about all this." They were dumbfounded, absolutely dumbfounded. He says, your father, your brother, you ask him to go ahead with the operation, and then he'll be perfectly all right. And you tell your father that I will be with him right through the operation. So, and Swami gave prasadam and to everybody. And as they were walking out, Swami held my father's hand and called him inside again. Why he did that was because he said, "Next time when you come, bring your family with you." It was out of the 6 people that went, we were the only ones that continued this connection with Swami. Rest of them never went back to Swami after that. My father came back to Mangalore, spoke to his brother, and his brother readily agreed. He said, "This is absolute divine intervention." If somebody, he had not seen Swami, maybe he had just seen a picture of Swami from my father. So he said, "Okay, I'll go ahead and amputate the leg." They had another uncle of mine, my mother's elder brother, is also a very big surgeon here in Mangalore. Both of them operated. They amputated the leg, and as the sutures being put on, my grandfather started speaking. My grandfather was a very learned man. He was a director in so many companies here in and around Mangalore. So he started speaking in English. He said one man, he said he was Sai Baba, was standing next to, he was showing the place with his hand as to where Swami was standing during the entire operation. He said, this is where he was standing. He was, and gave a vivid description of Swami. He said, a man with a red robe and a big black halo around his head. He was right there through the operation. He's the one who guided your hands for amputation and everything. And just now he left saying that he will give me the darshan some other time. And these uncles of mine who were on either side of the operation table were absolutely shocked. And they thought maybe he was gone. He was talking about his last words or whatever. But next 3 hours, he was absolutely unconscious. But when he came back to consciousness, he didn't know a word about what he said. Whatever had to be said, whatever had to be told, it was Swami told that because the doctors would know, and nobody else would have known that Swami was there. So the doctors came out, and it was a sensation in Mangalore, in the medical fraternity. Everybody, this is like, a very fantastic kind of an experience. And so my grandfather recovered from the operation, and he was fine. And then it was time for the family to go to Prashant Nilayam. After about a month or so, it was 1961, maybe end of the year, we all went to Puttaparthi. Swami called us for an interview. I don't want to show off as to Swami has given me so many interviews and all that, but my father was like a magnet. He would call him almost every time he went to Prashant Nilayam, he had an interview. My family would have had probably about 35 to 40 interviews in the last 40, 50 years that we were closely associated with Swami till his physical sojourn on this earth. And when he called us for an interview, as soon as we entered, he told my father, he used to call him as Poi. He never said Pai. His name was MS Pai. I'm Padmanabha Pai. He used to call Pai, Poi. There is a reason for that too. We are originally from Goa, and Pais are known as Pois in Goa. They P-O-Y. Even the spelling is P-O-Y, not P-A-I. And Swami used to call him always Poi. From a distance, he used to call him sometimes to take Pad Namaskar, speak to him. And when he walked in, he said, Poi, your life is like a ship which is about to wreck. You're right in the middle of the ocean. Don't worry, I will hold the anchor and bring you safely to shore. These are my words. I still remember, I was such a small boy. I was hardly maybe 7 or 8 years old, but I still remember those words keep ringing in my ears, because thought, word and deed, this is what Swami did for us. Every single decision in life was taken by Swami. Everything. My father's life was so easy after that. Any decision you wanted in life, you just had to go to Prashant Nilayam, and Swami would take care of it, And in one of the speeches my father mentioned, I was also there. We used to go to quite a few villages here for Grama Seva at that time. And one of the speeches he mentioned in Kannada, that even if I were to make a pair of sandals for Swami from the skin of my back, I would not be able to repay whatever Swami has done for me in this lifetime. It was a very significant kind of outburst. And people were absolutely shocked with the kind of the strong conviction with which Swami, my father said these words was fantastic. And I'm telling you, every single decisions in life for me, my two sisters, my entire family was taken by Swami, absolutely by Swami. We had nothing to worry about. Once I was in the 9th standard, and we had been to Prashant Nilayam, and Swami, out of the blue, said, you have to do engineering. I was not the brightest of students because I was in so many extracurricular activities in the school. I was the opening batsman in the cricket. I was in NCC. I was in the science club. I'm in the dramatics club. Every club that you name, and I was very active in that. But studies, I was a first-class student. But to get into an engineering school, and he did not mention at that time which school I should go to. After a couple of years, he said, you will get an admission into Surathkal Engineering College. I was absolutely shocked. I said, this must be, Swami, it's a very difficult kind of a thing because percentages there were like 92, 93% and above in +2. Then you get admission into Surathkal Engineering College. It was a premier institution here, like one of the IITs, And you will not believe when I finished my PU and I got a high first, distinction, but not the kind of marks you needed for admission to NITK or Surathkal. They call it. It was KREC at that time. Now it's NITK. But you will be shocked to hear that particular year, maybe a couple of years, there was a complete slowdown of economy, and there was a glut of engineers in the country, and there were no jobs available. So suddenly, people stopped going to engineering colleges, especially all the ones with the ranks and the top brass of the first class students that got 90+ percentages in their PU. Did not apply, and the percentages came down, and I got admission into Surathkal. See, what I want to tell you is, once Swami makes a sankalpa, it cannot go wrong. Please, friends, brothers and sisters, if Swami makes a sankalpa, that is absolutely Vajra sankalpa, diamond sankalpa. ये जो स्वामी बोलते हैं ना, स्वामी कुछ भी बोलने दे, अब वो हो जाएगा, absolutely हो जाएगा. There is no question that it cannot happen, because this is what it's all about. Once Swami makes a kind of a blessing, if he says, gives you a command or something like that, has to go through. There is no compromise, no going back on that. So, uh, so I joined, got admission into the engineering college. Uh, I When I was almost in the fourth, we were 5 years of engineering at that time, not like 4 years now. And I was Swami one day said, you do MS in engineering, go to the US and do MS engineering. So I started applying. There was no email. It was a manual kind of sending applications and getting back application, filling it up, sending back again. It would take about, exchange one application and fill it up and send it back and get a reply would take about 2.5 months. So then after about 6 months, once again, we went to Prashant and Swami said, and don't try for MS, do MBA. So I had to start the process all over again. The entrance exam was different. This was GRE and that was GMAT at that time. So I had to do it all over again. And he said, this will help you in your future business in the future. Because he had this plan for me that I had to come back and join my business ultimately. So he said, you come back, you do MBA. So I started applying. I got admission into 3 schools in the US. And I didn't know which one to go to. I had these I-20s from 3 schools. I sat in front of in our Sanctum Sanctorum at home. I sat in front of Swami, took a sheet, and finally got the name of a university which he wanted me to go to. So I went to Madras, got my visa, and went and joined the university. And I was almost, it was 1974, 77 fall semester I had to join. And when I was about a week before I left for Prashant Nilayam to the US, we all went to, my parents took me to Swami. Swami was in Vrindavan. Swami came in the morning, gave me prasad, gave me Pad Namaskar, and he said, go ahead, my blessings are always with you. And when we were driving back to Bangalore, we saw that Swami was at that time, the general hospital of the Bangalore hospital was very close to the Vrindavan ashram. Swami had gone to that hospital. So we waited outside just to have last darshan of Swami. So you will not believe, Swami, if you give 100%, you are 100% devotee, what he can do anything for you. He will do anything for you. This is my experience in the last 67, 65 years. As he was coming out of the car from the hospital, we were standing on the road, the 3 of us, my dad, my mom, and myself, and Swami rolled the windows down, pulled his white handkerchief outside, and waved at me. It's like saying, bon voyage, have a great trip. And this kind of gave me so much of strength. I was so worried, going to the US, don't know anybody. My sisters were there, of course, but going to the university, you don't know anything. You don't know the lifestyle there, don't know the culture there. But this kind of gave me so much of confidence that waving of that white kerchief was like, it was unbelievable. So I went to the US, studied, completed my MBA. And one day, out of the blue, my parents called me. He says, Swami was supposed to come to Mangalore in 1979. He came to Mangalore, Manipal and Alike. He is famous. He was very, very fond of Alike group of institutions, And he had been to Manipal because then Minister T.A. Pai took him to Manipal for a foundation stone of a inauguration of a temple there, Gopal Krishna temple. So Swami went to Manipal and came back, and on his way, Swami came to our house. And before that, when he landed in the airport in Mangalore, he asked my father to sit in front of the car, on the front seat in the car. And when he sat there, as they were driving, Swami casually asked, what is your son doing? Swami, he's doing his MBA. He said, Swami, I know that. Where is he now? Swami, he said, Swami has just completed his MBA. He's looking for a job. He wants to work for a couple of years. Okay, tell him that I have seen a girl for him, and is it okay for me to go ahead with the proposal? Swami was asking this question to my father. And he told him, go back home tonight, call him, and find out whether it's okay for Swami to select a girl for me. He said he has already chosen a girl. My parents called me in the night, and then I said, this is the best thing that can happen for me. If the Lord himself is choosing a girl for me to marry, what more do I need in life, And my parents were shocked. I still remember my mother telling me the girl could be a Telugu girl, a Hindi-speaking girl, a Malayali girl. I said, anything is fine with me. If Swami says, Swami wills that she's going to be my wife, Swami wants her to be my wife, that's final, you know. So next evening, next afternoon, on his way back from Alike, Swami came to our house. I was not there. I always feel bad about that. You know, only time he came to our house, and I missed that great opportunity. But anyway, Swami said, as soon as he came into the house, he asked my parents, "What did your son say?" Swami said, my mother said, Swami, he said, if Swami chooses, that's the best thing that can happen for me. So I knew he would say that. You know, this is what Swami says. You know, but still he gives you a chance to, you know, take a call, you know. And then Swami had his tiffin at home. And as he was leaving, he said, I will call you to Vrindavan. At that time, you can come to Vrindavan for further discussions. So he went back to Prashanti Nilayam, and when he went there, later on I came to know that as soon as he reached the Prashanti Nilayam, he sent a telegram to my father-in-law. My father-in-law was a great devotee of Swami, which we didn't know who he was actually till then, till my parents went to Vrindavan to when Swami called. He didn't even know who the girl was, who the girl's father was, which family it was, where are they from, what language they speak. They didn't know nothing. And when Swami when they were kind of where was I? Swami said, Swami asked them to come to my father-in-law was a timber merchant, large timber merchant in Karwar, in Uttara Kannada district of Karnataka. And he is the one who was responsible for all the doors, windows of Prashant Nilayam, right up to west 6 or 7 or 8, I don't remember. And the last jobs that he did was the Gopuram door, and then all the carvings on the interview room and the Prashanti Mandir doors. You know, in the front you see those beautiful carvings in Prashant Nilayam. Next time you go, you can all have a look. And then the last job that he did was the university building, all the arches. Swami materialized a beautiful picture of, I still remember my father-in-law telling me of Belur Mutt, and he said, this is the kind of building I want. And then all the arches were made by him, and then he died quite young, you know. So they were all, that was the time when he had come to Puttaparthi. He was asked to come to Puttaparthi with family. And that was the time when he had fixed all these carvings on the doors. And early morning they reached, and my father-in-law was telling me that previous day when he went to pick up the keys in the accommodations office, he met Colonel Jogarao, who was very active at that time. All the construction was taken care of by Colonel Jogarao. And Colonel Jogarao asked him, you know, Mr. Shetya, Swami went to Mangalore and all he was talking about was the alliance of your daughter. I mean, you know, this is the kind of thing Jogarao was saying. And my father-in-law didn't say a word. He came back and sat in the morning for darshan on the veranda. Swami came out first and called him. He said, call the family. And he called the family, took them all inside, and told him about the whole episode of going to Mangalore and taking care, talking to the parents of the boy. And he went on to give a lot of good things about me. He said he drinks, you know, he just wanted to tell them that I don't drink or smoke, or, you know, he wanted to tell them that. So he says, Swami says he drinks only milk, you know. It was so funny. And finally he said, before he went to the US, he came to me. He wanted to be my driver. So I'm coming to the theme of this whole episode. He wanted to be my driver. What happened was a month before the Dasara that year, myself, we had gone to Prashant Nilayam and we had an interview. Swami asked my father, said, I want a good driver. I don't have a good full-time driver here. Can you look for a good driver in Mangalore and send him to me? So we came back to Mangalore and advertised in the newspaper, did not disclose the name of as to where he was being hired and all that. About half a dozen, maybe more applicants had applied, and we shortlisted couple of them. I personally interviewed them because the main thing was that he shouldn't be drinking, shouldn't be smoking and things like that, and very presentable personality, mid-age, 40 to 45 years old. So I said, then finally was able to shortlist one guy. got him white, none of these people have white dress with them. When you're in Prashant Nilayam, you have to have a dress code. The white pant, white shirt, I got it stitched for him. Took him to Prashant Nilayam myself and went and met Kutumrao. Kutumrao said, you go and stand in Punichandra Hall. Swami is coming at 10:30 to supervise some jobs there. I went and stood there. Swami came there and asked me, oh, is he the driver? You will not believe, just looking at his face, Swami tells me, this guy smokes. My God, I said, what did I do now? I've asked him 10 times, do you smoke? Do you drink? And Swami said, Bada, you don't want, you take him back. Okay, then I sent him back to Mangalore and I stayed back. I stayed for a month. And that was the time I had given a letter to Swami. This guy, I asked him when I came out, I mean, you should have told me that you smoked. I could have chosen somebody else. He said, no, rarely, once in a while I smoke. Swami knows every single, you cannot get away with anything from Swami. Anyway, I sent him to Mangalore and stayed back and gave a letter to Swami. Swami, can I be your driver? And that's what it was. They said, no. He told my in-laws, my wife, would-be wife at that time, that he came to me to be my driver, but I told him that I will be his life driver. It was such a profound statement, it was unbelievable. I'd like to highlight one, I think I should have gone back a little bit. When I was in my second year engineering, it was my parents' 25th wedding anniversary. And we had been to Vrindavan, and Swami called us around 12:30 in the afternoon. He said, this was the time you got married 25 years ago. That's why I'm calling you now. So he materialized a beautiful blue ring for my mother. And then as we were leaving, he asked me, when are your exams going to be over? I said, Swami, May 2nd or 3rd, 2nd of May 1st was the last exam. And he said, then you do one thing, finish your exams and straight away come to Vrindavan. I'm having a summer course in Indian culture and spirituality for the children of my devotees. So there were like 300 boys and 300 girls from across the country who were there, for the summer course, 1 month summer course. So I finished my exam, took the night bus, early morning, 6 o'clock, I reached Vrindavan, and I went to the registration counter. They said, no, your name is not here. You can't join, and the auditoriums are full, the accommodation is full, there's no room here. I said, what do I do now? So with my bag and bedding, I stood there were a lot of fig trees in Vrindavan at that time. I stood under one of the fig trees. I stood there. Swami came out around 8:30. The moment he saw me from the gate, he called me. He said, when did you come? I said, came in the morning, sir. One of the boys, this was the first BCom batch, I think, of in Vrindavan, BCom student. He called one of the boys, took his badge and put it on me, and that boy didn't have a badge for the whole 1 month. He put it on me and he said, Jao, petrol pump ko jao. Everybody was looking at me like it was a registration in front of hundreds of people. Swami put the badge on me and he said, petrol pump ko jao. There was breakfast going on after the morning routine of exercises and all that. And Swami knew I was very, very hungry because I had dinner maybe at 6 o'clock the previous night. And then I was admitted to the summer course. 1 month was just heaven. We don't have this great opportunity to go through these national leadership programs and all this right now, isn't it? We never had this opportunity. Even we missed Bal Vikas, and by the time Swami started in 1969, we were in college, and that we missed that. But we had a lot of value education being imparted to us by my parents at home. We had bhajans at home, Purandar Dasa bhajans we used to sing. We learned the Bhagavad Gita, things like that. So we really didn't miss that. But summer course was absolutely a U-turn in my life. Took a U-turn in my life. 1 month in Swami's divine presence. He spent so much of time with us. Literally, he had stopped interviews for the public. He could just go for a quick darshan and come back, morning and evening. But most of the time, he was with us. Every evening, all 30 days, he gave discourse to us, went around, spoke to everybody, and I would like to quote 2 or 3 incidents which took place during this period. And we had classes in Vedas, Upanishads, everything. You name the topics, and we had very eminent speakers come and speak to us. Very eminent speakers. I still remember G.P. Rajaratnam, who was an expert in world religions. Whatever knowledge I have about world religions is that from his classes, And we had a physical instructor from the US. And every morning we had physical instructors give us exercises in the morning and things like that. And then one afternoon, And the kind of food that Swami served us was unbelievable. I mean, afternoon was very difficult to sit in the class because everybody was kind of drowsy after that sumptuous and delicious lunch. And this American physical instructor was sitting right at the back of the class. And that day I happened to be very close to him, sitting at the back. And Swami slowly came walking at about, very rarely he came at 2:30, so came around 4:30. That day he came at 2:30, went right to the back of the class. He saw this guy, went and stood in front of him. He was sleeping, he was snoring to glory, literally, with his mouth wide open. He was fast asleep. Swami stood in front of him, about a foot away from him, put his right hand forward like this, and then suddenly I tell you, a huge plum popped up in Swami's hand, a red plum. And that plum, he put it into his mouth. What a sight it was. I mean, this fair American guy with a red plum in his mouth, and Swami with his red robe standing in front of him. I mean, there was so much of fun. The entire 1 month was very, very enjoyable. We had a great time with Swami. Another incident I would like to quote is one of the boys, I think, had misbehaved. See, Swami is a very strict disciplinarian. There's no question about it. There's no compromise on that at all. He will put you on the spot. He will not wait to tell you some at a later date. This boy had misbehaved. Nobody knew what he did. And this fellow kept denying, but Swami somehow told him, no, don't do this, don't do that. And then he was in tears, he was crying. Son of a very great devotee of Swami from South India. I don't want to name the person. But the Swami's compassion, there is no equal to that. Even 100 mothers cannot give you that kind of love. Evening, he walks in to the prayer hall with a big parcel in his hand like this. And then he was going around looking for this boy. Suddenly he saw him, went to ask him to get up and gave him this parcel, asked him to open it. And there was a beautiful, huge mouth organ in that parcel. And he took him along with him right to the front where the bhajans were going on, asked him to sit there, and then made him play the mouth organ right through 1 month of all the bhajans that he said, from today you are going to play mouth organ for the bhajans. So he sat there for bhajans. And then, this is what Swami is all about. So he gave him so much of love. He was so happy that Swami, gave him a lot of grace in the evening. Another incident I want to quote is about one guy. We were all students of, from all walks of life across the country. And this boy had smoked in the morning right behind the toilet blocks. Swami called him and he said, I saw you smoking today behind the toilet block. Don't do that. And he kept denials after denials. No, Swami, I didn't do it. Swami waved his hand, came up with a Polaroid picture of this boy smoking. Would you believe, smoking? And that at the time that he was smoking, there was a cow standing behind him. And that picture had both him smoking and that cow at the back. And what more proof can Swami give? Anyway, Swami told him, don't smoke in future. And then, and these are three very, very significant, incidents that took place. And it was when it was time for us to leave, it was we were so sad. Nobody wanted to leave. Swami is like leaving your mother's house. It's impossible to leave. And because especially the kind of physical proximity that we enjoyed for the 1 month that we were there, it was fantastic. The summer course. So coming back to the US, my sojourn in the US, I worked, and after my marriage, Swami performed my marriage in Vrindavan in a grand manner in 1980, July 9th. He celebrated my marriage. We didn't have to do anything. He did everything, all the preparations, everything was made by Swami. He gave us excellent dinner, lunch, spent 2 days with us, gave us 3 or 4 interviews, spent so much of time with us, gave us so much dress, everybody to wear, all my sisters, everybody, he gave them saris and this. And then at the time of the marriage, he came on the stage and performed the marriage. It was such a electrifying kind of a thing. Within 6 or 7 minutes that you were on the stage, the marriage ceremony was over. He materialized a nice green ring for me. You can see this ring here. He materialized this nice green ring for me, and then materialized the tali for my wife and asked me to tie it around her neck. And then Swami blessed both of us, took garlands from both of us. And then it was such an electrifying moment for us. Never forget that. Every minute, every second of that particular time, always sit down and introspect and try to remember what had happened at that particular time. And it was fantastic. And time for us to go to the Swami said, go and work for a few years and then come back. So I went to the US with my wife, took my wife also along with me, and I was working, and I started a small business of my own. Was able to buy a house by Swami's grace. And one of the holidays, I wanted to show my wife the university that I went to, studied in the US. So I took her there, and a couple, Bill and Nadine Cleggan, who were my like host parents, they invited us to their house and asked us to stay with them. That night, at about 4 o'clock in the morning, Swami came in my dream and commanded me in English. He said, go back to India and join your father's business. And he said in English, oh, the entire conversation that day was in English, maybe because I was in the US and Swami never spoke to me in English. He always spoke to me in Kannada. He said, go back to India, join your father's business, and lifted his robe and said, Padnamaskar. I woke up my wife at 4 o'clock in the morning and I told her, time for us to pack up to India. See what happened? Swami came in my dream. It was like a vision. It's not a dream, I should say. It's like a vision. So within 3 months, December of 1984, I wound up, sold my house, quit my job, everything, and came back to India. And it was my father's parents' 60th wedding anniversary, 60th birthday. My father's 60th birthday. I'm sorry. It was father's 60th birthday. We all went to Prashant Nilayam. And Swami gave us two interviews that day, the one in the morning and one in the evening again. So as soon as I entered in the morning, Swami called me and he said, what are you doing now? He said, Swami, as per your instructions, this is what I told him in Kannada. Swami, as per my, Swami, जो आपने बोला था मुझे इंडिया आने के लिए, I have followed it, taught word and deed. So I come back to India. He said he was so happy. He lifted both his hands and I was sitting at the back. He called me and he gave me the second ring. You can see the second ring here, a diamond ring next to the green ring. He materialized the second ring for me. And he said, go and develop your business. Don't look back. Swami's grace is always with you. Your parents are fully involved in the organization. And whatever service that your father is doing in the organization, I'll give you 50% credit, he said. So don't get involved in the organization right now, So I got a green signal, to be running the business. So I was taking care of the business, and Swami was, we kept going to Swami, and my one first daughter was born. Swami named her as Suman, and said good mind, and she's running a Bharatanatyam school in the US right now. And it was time for Swami's, I think it was 60th birthday or 65th birthday, I don't remember right now. We had all gone from Mangalore. We had about 400 of us from Mangalore, from this district. We had taken 10 truckloads of vegetables to Swami's birthday celebration. This was every world conference. Our Mangalore devotees would take vegetables, truckloads of vegetables, coconuts, pumpkins, ash guards, whatnot, and we all went, and then Swami said, go and gave us a go down at the back to unload and then come back to Prashant Nilayam. Swami called us, the whole group, to Prashant Nilayam in the morning, and we were sitting there waiting for Swami. Swami came, went around the whole, all the people, gave them Padnamaskar, gave them Prasad, and when he came to me, he asked, said, how many children? Swami, one daughter, Swami. Oh, he said, okay. Then he went further. He went to the ladies' side, went to my wife. And then when he came to my wife, he asked the same question. How many children? He said, Swami, one daughter. And she said, Swami, I want a son. Swami, instead of replying to that, he said, he stood there and said, double, 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 double. 3 times he repeated double, double, double. And twins were born to us. That Sankalpa was made in Prashanti Nilayam, inside the Sanctum Sanctorum. Double, 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 Swami said. And the children were born. Swami named them as Aditya and Kiran. Named them as Aditya and Kiran. And the entire family is completely involved in Swami's organization. All of us, everybody, my son is very much involved in the business because I am most of the time traveling with my present assignment as State President of Karnataka North. Another incident I'd like to, when I was in the one day Swami came into my dream and he said, asked me, what is my son-in-law is a student of Swami, Dr. Keshav Naik. He's a student of Swami. And he said, asked me, what is your son-in-law doing? I said, Swami, my son-in-law is a cardiologist. And he said, no, 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 he is an interventional cardiologist, Swami said. And I didn't know what that name, at that time, I didn't know what that interventional cardiologist meant at all. Absolutely, I did not have the slightest inkling what it was. So I called my daughter the next day and she said, why are you asking, Daddy? What happened? They were absolutely dumbfounded because that was the day he had to take a call, whether he wanted, he had to take a, for the internship, he had to take a call, whether he had to be a cardiac surgeon or an interventional cardiologist. And here Swami was giving a clear cut direction that he had to be interventional cardiologist. Today, at least once or twice a year, he is in Vrindavan hospital, working in the cath lab, putting stents to so many patients. He'll be coming again now in September. So this is what that was Swami's blessing, and we had gone to Vrindavan once, and Swami called us for an interview, me and my wife. And at that time, I told Swami, when I was in the US, I used to feel you more. I used to feel you more. Always I felt that Swami was with me. But when I came back to India, I said, Swami, I don't feel you as much as I used to feel you in the US. He said, under the lamp darkness. So this is what he told me. So we are sitting under the lamp here in India, and we are, he said, sitting under the lamp, you have darkness, and all the people around the globe are benefiting from my avatarhood. So this is what Swami told me, and at that time, Swami, please give me an opportunity to serve in your organization at a later date. Swami said, in future, I will give both of you excellent opportunities to serve in my organization. Swami blessed us to Padnamaskar. Swami gave me Padnamaskar and Israel. And ultimately I became the district president of Mangalore district, and we got to do so much of seva for Swami. And at present I am the state president of Karnataka North, and my Swami has given us so many opportunities. My hands are absolutely full, I should say. I need 25 hours a day to get the kind of seva that we need to offer to Swami. This is unlimited scope to do seva in all the three wings of our organization, the spiritual wing, the education wing, the seva wing. I would like to briefly touch on one activity in the organization that is very close to my heart, and we have done wonders in that particular area. You will not believe there is an acute shortage of water everywhere. The farmers, the birds, the animals have very little water in certain areas of Uttara Kannada district, near Yellapur and Karwar, in those areas. So the Karnataka Trust helped us to rejuvenate these lakes. And we took up this task, and we have rejuvenated so far 70 lakes in that area. And you will not believe, the worst of summer, all these lakes, the lakes that were rejuvenated, is 10 to 15 feet of water in that particular lake. And the most beautiful part is when we remove that silt from the lakes. The silt is taken away by farmers in that particular area. They come and line up with their tractors and they take it to their particular farms, because the silt is so fertile. The crops have doubled over there. Every time I go there, they tell us, it is thrilling to see the entire 50 villages that we adopted. People are Swami. All those villages have become Sai villages. Every evening you have bhajans in so many places. There are so many temples in those villages. Everybody flocks to the temple, and you have people sitting there and doing bhajans, Swami's bhajans. It's an unbelievable kind of an experience when I go there. Sometimes I feel I should be working only in villages, not in towns and cities, because the kind of love and the kind of faith blind faith. Most of them would not have even seen Swami physically. There's no need for that. Absolutely, I'm telling you, even in your this present batch, maybe few of you have not seen Swami. That's not needed at all. You tune yourself to Swami. Sit. One experience I'll tell you what I do when my sticks are down a little bit. I sit in front of Swami's photograph and talk to him. I talked to him. I got this inspiration from that movie Fiddler on the Roof. He keeps talking to God all the time, right? I keep talking to Swami all the time. Continuously, I keep talking to Swami. Whatever problem I have, I sit in front of Swami. And when I'm alone in the car, especially, when I have a driver, he might think I'm a nut. I don't want to do that, but I'm alone in the car, I keep talking to Swami. It's an experience, and you feel Swami's presence at that particular time. You always think that, sitting in next to you on the other seat is Swami, and you keep talking to him. This is what all of you should do. When you have an exam, go sit in Swami's prayer room and sit and talk to him. Prepare well before you go, and then sit in front of Swami and pray to Swami. Swami will definitely take care of you. And hands in the society, head in the forest. This is what Swami. This is my Maha Mantra, I should say. Recently I completed my 50 years of engineering from NITK, and we had a get together of all the 1974 batch of students in the college. The director, the deputy director, all the HODs, everybody was there. And then they asked me to speak. And I didn't want to speak about my business. It's a mundane thing to speak about my whatever business I'm doing. So I took the liberty, without even tell them what I was going to speak about, I took the liberty of talking to him about Satya Sai Seva organization and the kind of initiatives that we have announced from the All India Organization for the Baba's centenary year. The Premataru, and then the each one feed one, bhajans, Nagar Sankirtan, study circles, and everything went on. And finally I said, one particular activity is very close to my heart, and explained to them the one activity that I told you about, the lake rejuvenation. That got them like bolt out of the blue. And as soon as the meeting was over, they called me for a personal discussion with them. And you will not believe, they wanted a lake of that kind in the campus. There's a 350-acre campus of NITK in Surat. It's a 350-acre campus. It's set up by the central government in 1960s, and there was a acute shortage of water. They truncate their semester by 1.5 to 2 months every year for the last 3-4 years because of shortage of water. And they got hold of me, and then I called my expert, one Mr. Goni from Uttarakhand district, who was the main man behind the lake rejuvenation. We had further discussions. All the 1974 batch students got together, we collected some money, and then we got going. Friends, brothers and sisters, this is what Swami is all about. This is absolute divine intervention. Because if I had not spoken about this, my activity that day, this never would have happened. Today, after 1 and 2 months of continuous monitoring of this activity, a 2-acre plot has been converted into a beautiful lake. About 3,000 truckloads of mud has been removed from that particular area. And the amount of liter that will be stored in that particular tank, 2.9 crore liters of water will be stored in that tank. It's rainwater that will become, because Mangalore is like Chirapunji. We get a lot of rains here. So this already about 50 to 60 lakhs liter of water has already accumulated. So when the tank is full, I think the campus will have completely augmented the shortage of water in the campus. So this is what we should do. It is not just for the organization. We should do things which are beneficial to the society. We should be our hands, head in the forest, hands in the society. We should get involved, try to bring as many people as possible. The centenary year, Swami has left a huge legacy for us, friends. Swami has left a huge legacy. Make sure that every one of you is a brand ambassador of Swami. Go out and tell Swami what Satya Sai organization is all about. Go and tell them who Satya Sai Baba is and what are the kind of service activities that he has done for the mankind. This is what you should be doing. And I'll just briefly touch on your program, because I've been very, very closely monitoring your activities for the last, ever since you started, because I became the state president. I had to be taking care of both the gents and the Mahila groups. And some of the projects that you were doing I got involved, gave them a lot of directions. I still remember one particular group I wanted to do an activity, skill development center. We have a flagship skill development center in Uttarakhand district, where Karnataka Trust has constructed a beautiful 2,000 square feet facility, where every day 50 to 60 Mahilas are trained in tailoring, fashion design, all kind of activities. And this is where this particular activity is so close to my heart. And we have opened 40 to 50 new centers across Karnataka North, the skill development centers everywhere. And cities, we are doing activity with we are doing teaching tally and computer literacy courses to students in the cities, because all the tailoring and all doesn't mean a thing in the cities. And this particular project these boys were doing, they wanted to do it on my in my skill development center, and it was only almost a month before they were supposed to submit the report, and they called me and said, "Sir, we have some issues." So I told them to go to that particular skill development center. They stayed there for 3 days, spoke to hundreds of people, and got feedback as to what exactly, how much they have benefited from that. And all of them, I forgot to tell you one thing. These villages, every single devotee is a Swami devotee. As I said, the Sai village. Not only that, the most important thing is every single child is a Balvika's child. Can you believe this? I mean, every single village, you have a Balvika center and 50 Balvika centers in all these villages, and all the children are Balvika's children. This is a fantastic, Swami's grace overflowing in that particular area, I should say. So many miracles happening, booty coming out of photograph, honey coming out of photograph. We have a tribal village, which is 18 tribal villages by, they are the Bori Honda, it is known as, they are the descendants, they are descendants from Africa. When you see them, they don't look like Indians at all, but they speak the local language, and they are in the forest, they are literally living on forest produce, and they are collecting honey. And the owner of the lady of the house called me about 6 months ago. She said, "Sir, I am worried because there's honey coming out of my photograph in Swami's picture." I said, "The greatest blessing you can happen to you. So this is what it is. And Swami has given me so many opportunities. And I would like to definitely request all of you, all the SSNLP students, to come up with very original ideas for your projects. Think out of the box. Think out of the box. Don't go and copy others' projects which they have done in the earlier years. Think out of the box, come up with beautiful projects, and make Swami happy. The most bottom line is trying to make Swami happy. Always when we do things, we should always think and see, will this make Swami happy? This is the most important thing, and nothing else is important. You're not making state president happy or state coordinators happy. You should always think, am I making Swami happy with this activity? So that's very, very important. I'd like to conclude this talk with a saying. I had attended a motivation class in the US when I was in the US. It says every hour he would make us stand and say, whatever we vividly imagine, ardently desire, sincerely believe, and enthusiastically act upon will surely come to pass. Enthusiasm is the key, friends. Enthusiasm is the key. Do this project of yours this year with a lot of enthusiasm, a lot of gusto. Pray to Swami, keep praying to Swami, and come up with beautiful reports which are going to be beneficial for mankind, for people, not for your next batches. They're going to be beneficial for everybody in the organization, not only in the organization, everybody in the society. Try to come up with such project reports. Whatever help I need from my Karnataka, I'm always giving. I'm always there with them. So this is all I've got to say. I think, hope I have not gone overboard. I dedicate every single word that I've said today at the divine lotus feet of Swami. Sometimes I feel that I'm talking too much about my personal experience, but I thought people should know what Swami did to people. What Swami did, what the kind of blessings that Swami gave to us. Why he did to us, we don't know. It's all of past karmas, I should say. Again, I said, I'm so happy that I'm born to these parents who were instrumental in taking us to Swami, and our life has changed, and our dedication and devotion to Swami. Only pray to Swami to guide us the rest of our lives and bless us with the lot of his love and blessings. Thank you very much. Jai Sairam.
सायराम। थैंक यू श्री एम पद्मनाभ पाई सर, बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। बहुत ही सुंदर वाणी से स्वामी के एक्सपीरियंस को बताया कि कैसे स्पिरिचुअल जर्नी स्टार्ट हुआ 1960 से, ड्राइवर ऑफ कार। एक बात जो मेरे दिल को छू गई कि आप 100% देते हैं तो भगवान आपके लिए कुछ भी कर सकते हैं, कुछ भी करते हैं। इट इज़ ए प्रिविलेज टू लिसन टू यू on this forum, Sairam participant. Let's move on to the question and answer session.
Sairam sir, Sairam sir, so happy and so inspired to hear your story of how you transformed a whole village into a Sai village and made them all Sai devotees, and made them most especially how you made them all like Balaviga students. Because me myself, I was fortunate to do all the 3 levels of Balavigas, and I personally felt the magic of the transformation one can feel after going through those sessions. And in my samadhi, actually, years back, while I was doing my Balavikas, it was like a proper channel. Like those who were along with me are like some of them still are now as in youth and still are here to do the seva and with my samadhi and all. But the problem that we're facing in my samadhi currently is that there are many Balayoga students, yes, but they are only because the gurus asked them personally to come and sit there and spend their time with in the Balavikas classes. And while we are arranging many classes or sessions for these students, I sometimes ask personally with these gurus to invite them, and not only those Balaga students, but their parents also to attend those sessions and all. And the response I get is that the Balaga students, they're only there because the gurus asked them personally, and the parents will sometimes explicitly say that they are not like devotees; they just like love the classes, so they are there. And so this is like we are like discussing this problem in our summary. Like children, we can't convince, or I don't know like how to convince the children of these days on to attend this Balavikas classes. Like I very much want like many like as much as we can students to attend these Balavikas classes and sessions. So would you suggest some ways that I can share with my Samadhi in charges, and that maybe I can even try myself to attract more kids to join these Balugas classes and join with us, Sairam sir?
I got your point. Uh, you know, there are two categories of Balvika students. One is children of devotees. There we have no issues because the parents are totally involved in the organization and they will ensure that their ward or girl or boy make sure that they go through 1, 2, 3, 4 Balvikas and then be an alumnus of Balvikas. But there are another group of children whose parents are non-devotees. But for that, in Balvikas, I'm sure you're aware that we have a beautiful program known as parenting. So you should tell your Balvikas gurus, your spiritual coordinator in the Samiti, Mahilas or gents, to organize parenting classes in your Samiti for them, for these parents. Call all these parents to the Samiti, brief them as to what Balvikas is all about, because most of them don't even know what Balvikas is, frankly speaking, and they're not interested. So this is the only way you can convince those parents that Balvikas is the only way for your, to bring up your children with a lot of, a lot of good behavior, all kind of attributes that Swami says about Balvika student. So best thing for you would be to go back to your Samiti, talk to the convener and tell them on a priority to start to arrange a parenting program for the parents of the, that's the best thing you can do. Another thing that we always do is call all these parents of Balvika children, and we have a special day where we do their Pada Puja. Sitting in a line on chair, and children sitting at the bottom. And some of the parents who don't even know who Swami is, they're so overwhelmed to see their parents doing Pada Puja. This has become a hit, literally a hit, I should say. So make sure that you go back to your Samiti convener and tell them on priority, arrange a parenting session for the parents of these children who are not interested. Okay? All right? Are you convinced? Are you happy?
Sure.
Yeah. Thank you. Sairam.
नेक्स्ट सर क्वेश्चन चैट बॉक्स से ले रहे हैं साइराम सर प्लीज शो अगेन योर रिंग विच वर गिवन बाय आवर स्वामी जो आपने रिंग पहना हुआ है वो आप सर अगेन शो कर दें
Oh, you want me to show my ring? Oh my God.
yes
Okay.
yes yes sir.
Hindi is too high here. I couldn't follow. See, just see where is it? Yeah, here. This green ring he gave me for my marriage at that particular muhurtam. You can see this green ring here. And then the other ring was given when I came back from the US. He said, go and take charge of your business and develop it. He said, go and do some side business also. I didn't know what that side business meant. These are words. See, I remember every single word that Swami told me in my interview. Believe me, every single, I don't remember anything else, frankly speaking. But I remember every single incident, every single small thing that went on in the interview room, I knew. He said, go and do side business. You know what I did? I started a small transport business. And that too flourished. You know, that's what Swami meant. Swami didn't tell me specifically go and do transport business. He said do side business. You know, this is what he told me. So I'm so lucky that Swami gave me so much of direction and so much of love. Okay, thank you. Yes, Sairam. Next question.
Okay, next, Shivam Sharma.
Pranam.
Sairam.
As Swami has spent a lot of time with you, you have spent a lot of time with Swami also. So I want to know from your perspective how Swami will feel when every woman of our country and of the world will feel empowered. And I am finding the answer as I'm thinking my project to align with this uh, concern actually.
Could you say that? Could you repeat that question for me? I didn't follow that question.
How Swami will feel when the women of our country and the worldwide will feel empowered.
Empowered.
Yes,
Empowered. Oh, I
empowered.
mean, Swami gave, I mean, it's so much of, grace to Mahilas. Swami has always said, Mahilas are, today if you ask me about the organization, our organization is running because of women. I'm telling you, forget about the world, forget about everything else. 60 to 65% of the work for the seva in the samitis is done by the women. And we are just back from Hyderabad. Gopi brother is sitting there. He's, and we were told, go all out and support the women. Try to come up, select women who are leading lawyers in town, who are leading doctors in town, bring them to the samitis, ask them to speak, motivational speak, bring them motivational speakers. Try to give them as many opportunities as possible. And we have been categorically told, you support the women in the organization. Yeah, this is what we have been told. I tell you, you give them whatever work you want, whatever seva you want, all the three wings, and it is done meticulously. Again, I'm telling you, our samitis, our organization is running 65% because of Mahilas. So I attach a lot of importance to Mahilas in the organization.
Next question, sir, chat box here. Sairam, sir, how you go through the instructions of Swami during your driving journey with Swami? It's mean which type of instructions is being given by Swami during driving?
Oh.
So the question is, whether Swami has given you any directions when you're driving, what is it that you think about or what should you listen to or any kind of direction that did you get?
Well, again, the Maha Mantra is start early, drive slowly, reach safely. And this is applicable not only to driving, to everything, I think. But, Swami, I remember once I had certain health issues, and Swami said, no, it is nothing, don't worry. When you are driving, when you are concentrating on driving, do you remember that problem? I said, so I remembered that. I never remembered that problem, that a health problem or whatever I was getting. So concentration on the driving, and to be my life driver, I can tell you something that, every decision that was taken in my life was taken by Swami. I never got to take decisions at all. Once he said that he has taken charge of my life, saying that he is my life driver, whatever decisions I had to take, I had to, I either spoke to Swami, either he guided me through my dreams, or physically, even outside in Prashant Nilayam, gave me Pad Namaskar, blessed whatever I had to do, things like that. So, being a life driver of mine, that was a very big blessing that I got from Swami. Yeah.
Next question, sir. Ripika Mishra, Odisha से.
सायरम सर, एक्चुअली मेरी बेटी मेरे क्लास में थी तो उसको कुछ जानना था, इसीलिए मैं रह गई। कुछ जल्दी जल्दी जल्दी।
सायराम अंकल,
Sairam.
आपको वो जो रिंग मिला था तो आपके पास सायराम आए थे, तो आपको वो कैसे दिए?
तुमको दोबारा देखना पड़ सकता। You want to see my ring again?
कैसे दिए थे? पूछ
कैसे दिए थे?
What did you say?
He says, how did he give it? Did he materialize it to give you?
Yes, absolutely. स्वामी can materialize anything, anything. कुछ भी स्वामी हाथ से ऐसा हाथ घुमा के कुछ भी ले सकते, कुछ भी निकाल सकते थे, कुछ भी. So many times he gave us hot. So many times he gave us hot laddus. It is so fascinating. Sitting in the room and Swami would suddenly on his chair and he would materialize hot laddus and then break it into pieces and give it to everybody in the room. And if there are 20, 30 people, 25 people, it will suffice everybody. Hot laddu Swami would materialize and give. And I've heard a story that whereby a lot of people said Swami can't materialize people with life. Swami materialized a monkey once in the interview room. Swami materialized a monkey to show people. This is what it is. Swami can materialize anything. Just have this strong conviction that Swami was Parabrahma, Brahma, Vishnu, Maheshwara, and all in one. And we did not realize that. We did not realize that. And even today, when people go and flock to temples and break coconuts, I feel, Avatar was here. People have not seen Swami. Swami was there for 86 years, and people have not seen Swami. Avatar was here. But again, Swami had to will for them to go there. Without Swami's will, they could not have seen Swami at all. So many people don't know where Puttaparthi is today, Prashant Nilayam is today. So this is what it is, ignorance. And Swami gave us. So मैं आपको बताता हूँ, स्वामी कुछ भी निकाल सकते हैं हाथ से, कुछ भी. So have that very strong faith that Swami was God himself. God, no question about that. Don't have any kind of reservations or inhibitions regarding that. Okay, Sairam.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sairam.
Sairam sir, Swami was kind enough to choose partner for you, but how can we as you, a young adult, make an informed choice which align that with Swami principles, parent wishes, and everything? How can we seek Swami guidance in this sphere of life?
Well, that's a tough one. Swami, I was lucky that he did that for me. But all you need to do is pray. Pray in capital letters. You if you have a horoscope that you brought in to see which girl is suitable for you, sit in front of Swami and take a chit. And then put 1, 2, 3 numbers on the horoscope and put numbers on that and take a chit in front of Swami, and Swami will guide you. There's some stalwarts in our organization who do take decisions only by putting chit in front of Swami. There's stalwarts, I should say. Don't want to name them, but big decisions in life are taken by taking chits in front of Swami, and it works. I'm telling you, it works. So, but life is all about adjustment here. But you don't think that because Swami selected, everything is going to be rosy for you. There's going to be ups and downs. That's way of life. So you should accept that. But I think this is the best route plan of action. That now that Swami is not here with us physically, this is what we should do. Okay, Sairam.
Yeah, actually, in the session you have mentioned many times like hands in the society and heads in the forest. So this is the first time I'm listening. So can you be a little brief about that, like what the exact meaning is, like that?
We do all kind of prayers, we do all kind of chantings, we do bhajans, we do Nagar Sankirtans, we get into Satsang, everything. But ultimately, your hand should be in the society. Your head in the forest, head in the forest means you are talking about spirituality. Just talking about spirituality and not doing any service is not good at all. Definitely. I am convinced on that. There are people who just say, I'm doing a lot of seva, I'm doing Veda chanting, I'm doing this, but unless you are involved in some seva, when your head in the forest means all these spiritual things you are talking about, it's like being in the forest. Earlier days you have read about stories of rishis and people used to go to the forest to meditate, right? You don't have to do that anymore. You have to sit at home and meditate, but at the same time, get involved in some activity in the Samiti. Without that, I'm telling you, all SSNLP graduates who are the students who are here in the group, I'm telling you, when you graduate, get back to the mainstream, join one of the Samitis close by, wherever you are. Join the Samiti, give everything that you can, talk to the convener, tell them I'm SSNLP graduate, I would like to do something for the Samiti. Join the youth group, join the youth force, and try to see whatever best you can give to the Samiti. Give back what Swami. 1 year of this education, Gopi brother and his team are doing a fantastic job. bringing in people from all walks of life, experienced people to talk to you, give you experience, one first-hand experience. Then again, you have come for orientation to Prashant Nilayam, you're again going to come to Prashant Nilayam for the graduation. They're spending so much of time, money, energy on you. Give back to the society. Go back to the Samiti nearby, wherever you are. I'm sure you have Samitis just at the beck and call. You will have a Samiti, maybe 1 kilometer away from your home. Ensure
No,
that
just 100 meters from my home.
Samiti. Go and join the Samiti and join the mainstream. But this is the only way you can do it. And serve the society. That's the only way. That's the hand in the forest. Okay? Please.
Sure. Thank you.
Now I would request Sister Nisha Karthik. Please.
Thank you, Brother Charles. Sairam to all. It's an honor and privilege to be a part of this wonderful session. I am Nisha Karthik, State Youth Coordinator of Karnataka North and alumni of National Leadership Program for Self-Transformation 2024 batch. I now call upon Dr. Gopi Krishna Piditala sir, convener of National Leadership Program for Self-Transformation, to share his thoughts.
So, Sairam, offering my loving salutations to the Divine Lotus Feet of Bhagwan. First of all, let me thank Brother Pai, Padmanabha Pai sir, for that wonderful talk. Pai sir, आपने जो story आपका जीवन का सुनाया, I think it means a lot to all these youngsters.
Thank you.
Many of them do not know how Swami touches individuals in their lives. They always think that Swami, most of them I think have this feeling that there are only a privileged Lord and these people get the benefit. These thoughts rumble in their minds. But your story of how Swami touched you, I'm sure there are hundreds and millions of such people that Swami must have touched, like Mr. Pai, and we are all one of them. I think the point that you said, think of him, contemplate of him. In fact, I would like to mention that in one of the interactions, Swami did mention that you might not have seen Swami, like Mr. Pai said, you might not have seen Swami, most of you physically, a lot of them. But Swami said, whenever you think of me very sincerely, Swami said, I will not come by plane, I will not come by car, I will come in a flash. Swami was saying, I'll come in a flash like this. And there are innumerable incidents that I think, when we get time, we'll talk about it. I could relate, and Pai sir also could relate. A lot of incidents where Swami's physical presence will be seen. Imagine Swami talking about his grandfather's surgery, that Swami said he would go and be there when the surgery is being done. I'm sure Swami must have been there. Only a patient would have known, the doctor would have known. In fact, I was listening to somebody yesterday. I believe Swami had performed a surgery in London and the doctor had opened up the stomach and did not know what was to be done. And suddenly his hand started moving and then the surgery was being performed. Then he realized that there was an external force that was it. Then the patient was telling him that, really, I prayed to Swami to help me, and Swami had come, walked into the operation theater and performed the surgery. So anything is possible with Swami. And what you need actually is very true. Like he said, passion, commitment, and sincerity. This entire leadership program is based on that. We all want you to go back. The Samiti Connect program was also designed so that you should go back to the Samiti and work. And another suggestion that I have, Pai sir, since the lake project you've spoken about, maybe we could designate 3 or 4, participants from your team to actually prepare a small project on this, and it would be very
fantastic. Fantastic. I will give all support.
Yes, it could really, we could replicate this. I remember in 2003 when Swami formed the Gram Seva Trust, the first project was a similar one that we took up in a place called Roddam in Anantapur. We did, it was not actually the project of, desilting the thing, but what we did was a huge lake, which was 5 kilometers, in width. We grew actually fodder grass in Anantapur because fodder was a big thing. And Swami said, repeat this in every part of Andhra Pradesh, and we did that. So something like this can definitely be taken up by youth. And I'm sure there's a lot of motivation that has come to these youngsters today. Enthusiasm is there. and I think, they'll all rock with whatever you have guided them today. And Swami touches every single heart. Please don't think you are different. It's whether it's Padmanabha Pai uncle or Gopi uncle or XYZ, everybody, each one of you is as important as anybody else to Swami. Swami is beyond all these things, Pray to him. Pray. Push yourself. Push, the definition of push? Pray until something happens. That is what we have to do. And it's important that I also heard about self-defense. Somebody was talking about Sharma, I think, was talking about self-defense. Swami did mention once, that, he wanted youngsters to learn karate. I remember that he was directing us to tell the boys in Hyderabad to learn karate. So I don't know, maybe this is another reminder to all of us that all youngsters should also learn self-defense, whether, as mentioned, outside the organization is something that we think about. So overall, I would say that this has been a fantastic satsang to all of us, and Swami's divine presence is felt. And to end this talk, I just wanted to tell somebody spoke about women, and somebody was talking about empowerment of women. I think, it's the other way around. It's empowerment of men has to be done. Women are doing a great job in the country, and I would not hesitate to say this. In fact, I should place it on record. The NLP program that's happening is led by the young women of the Satsang organization. I have no hesitation in this. I'm saying this in front of Bhagavan. And the recent Mahila conference, I don't know how many of you had attended, the kind of dignitaries, women dignitaries who came, who shared, and the kind of presentations and the kind of moderating that the young women of our organization did was stupendous. In fact, Mr. Pai might recall in the national meeting that we had in Hyderabad recently, the All India President was mentioning that he has not seen such a kind of a program that, the women had actually taken up. So women are and will be the backbone of this country, and women are the backbone of the Satya Sai Seva organization. So let's all give the credit and a round of applause. All the men folks who are there, please put your hands all together to all the ladies in this group also. You've done a great job. May Swami bless us all, and this is a great moment for us. We'll catch up again shortly, and over to you, Nisha. Sairam. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for your inspiring words. I thank our state president, Sri Padmanabha Pai, sir, for this wonderful session. Sir, your energetic words have always inspired millions of youth in the path of righteousness. You guide us lovingly. Your high energy level and spirit to achieve the goals awakens even those in deep slumber. Here, I would like to share an incident. हमारे डिस्ट्रिक्ट में एक महानगर संकीर्तन का आयोजन हुआ था। इसमें हम भजन गाते हुए 22 किलोमीटर चले थे। सर भी हमारे साथ थे। उनके फेस में हमेशा एक 100 वॉट का स्माइल होता ही था। जरा भी थकावट दिखाई नहीं देती थी। यह देखकर हमने भी फुल जोश में और फुर्ती में ऐसे भजन गाए कि आज भी मुझे वो दिन याद आते हैं तो मेरे रोंगटे खड़े हो जाते। सर, you are our true leader. We seek your blessings to follow and achieve bliss in this divine journey of self-transformation. Thank you, sir. Sairam. We now proceed towards Shanti Mantram.
Samastha Lokah Sukhino Bhavanthu. Samastha Lokah Sukhino Bhavanthu. Samastha Lokah Sukhino Bhavantu. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti.
जय बोलो भगवान श्री सत्य साई बाबा जी की